Okay, my name is Charlie Burkett, and I am at the Darkon expo in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I am with Matt Frewer, who is known for Max Headroom and his work in Supernatural, his Pestilence, I think it was. So, Matt, regarding Max Headroom, which came first, the talk show or Cyberpunk?
You mean cyberpunk as a movement, or what are you talking about?
Wasn't the show where you were Edison Carter and the whole Blipbird thing? Wasn't that called Cyberpunk?
No.
No.
It was that was basically a pilot for the adventure series that came along later. But we shot the pilot after a series of. It was me introducing pop videos. I was a video jockey for Chrysalis Records, and then we did this movie that told the birth of the character, and then after that, the whole production moved to Los Angeles, and we did a show for ABC, the extended version of that. Yeah.
And would you say Max Headroom is your favorite character out of all of your roles?
No, not really. It sounds a little Pollyannish, but I think it's whatever I'm doing at the time. Because I'm attracted to interesting material and whatever comes up, and playing interesting characters and interesting stories, and it was one character of many. I'd been in the business for 11 years over in England before Max came along, but it was something that was a huge cherry for me, because it meant I could come to Los Angeles and not have to pound pavement. I was playing the dual lead in this high-profile series, so it was great.
Yeah. So you wouldn't say there's a character that you're more fond of than others. It's just whatever you're into at the time.
I probably have a short list of probably the top 6 maybe I've played over the years, and I think Max is in amongst those. It was a great kind of intro to the LA film world for me. So I'm fond of it for lots of reasons, and that's one of them.
What else do I got here? Now, how was Max filmed in interviews? Like when you were on David Letterman, you got the TV set up. How was that done? Was that done on stage?
Well, it would be me in rubber makeup backstage. They would have a camera on me, and then that would be a feed out to a TV set, which was on a chair talking to Dave. So I was talking to Dave, but in effect through a screen. So I could hear what he was saying, but I couldn't react to him. So everything was audio for me, but for him it was audio and visual.
So you just heard him and you didn't?
You just heard him, and then just came up with stuff. And just
nice.
Yeah, it was just great. So it was a lot of fun.
You were pretty on the spot with some of those one-liners.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, do you go prepared? I mean, do you have cue cards,
No.
or you're just that awesome?
Yeah, I'm just that awesome, just that incredible. I mean, who knew? Yeah,
Right.
but no, it's something that's fun to do, and I don't look at it like oh God, it's a huge task. It's just something that's fun to do.
So that's why everything seems more relaxed, because it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's nice. I remember one of your little witty lines was he said, "Now Max, do you have a metal plate in your head?" And you're like, "I have a full dishware set," or it was something like that.
Oh, it was like I have a full set of china.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was impressive.
Thank you.
Hats off to you for that. Now, what was your hardest interview as Max? I mean, they seem like they're predetermined, like.
Well, there's obviously a few questions that I have to ask certain celebrities, otherwise they wouldn't come on the show.
Right.
And this was you're probably talking about the HBO talk show that we did, and there's certain things that you have to ask them, like tell me about your last album, or tell me about your next movie, or whatever it is. Otherwise, they're not going to come on the show. There were a couple that were quite difficult. I don't want to name names,
okay.
but there was one guy that I got into a full-on argument with on camera, and they aired it. And then there was another one actually with Oliver Reed, who was fantastic. God rest his soul, a great guy. But beforehand, he was he had a few, and we got into it over, believe it or not, Winnie the Pooh.
Wow.
Yeah, which was fantastic.
That's kind of awesome.
It was a little out there, but it was a very cool interview.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't. Let me tell you something about Pooh Bear. You know, I can only imagine how that went down.
Well, that's pretty much how it went.
Okay, now how did the success of your character Max Headroom did that change you at all? I mean,
no, because like I say, I'd pretty much been an actor for 11 years before that. So I was used to, and you have to, in order to have a longevity in a career, of having perspective on it, in so much that there are periods when you have highs, and there are periods when you have lows, and there's times when there's great success and you're fated for things, and there's other times when you're not so well known for what you're doing, and but it's life is a box of chocolates, and and I think the idea is that when you're on your deathbed, you can say you've done lots of different interesting things, rather than you just have a more expensive lining for your coffin.
Nice. Said like a boss. Like a pro.
Oh,
like a true professional.
Right.
It's something these hip kids say nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Now, do you have a favorite memorable moment with Max out of all of the shows you've done? Is there any one thing that sticks out the most? Like, man, that was something.
Yeah, you mean on Max Headroom, or
anything involving Max? Like, let's say,
it has to be involving Max.
You know what? Anything out of your acting career.
Well, I have lots of memorable moments. I mean, that's.
It's kind of a vague question, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to be more specific there.
Yeah. Let's say the funniest, the ones that. Let's say a funny moment. What would you say would be the top funny moments out of any of your acting experiences? Is that too vague too?
It's too vague too, because I have funny moments every time. This is amusing. It's not wildly funny, but yeah, this is an amusing moment. I'm sure I'm going to be thinking about this for the next 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah. This is what happens when you write your questions late at night. Yeah. So let's forget. Don't worry. Moving on.
Not last night, apparently. Anyway, okay, fire away.
Okay.
And then I better go back in.
Okay, sounds good. Let's now. Last question. What was it like filming with Jackie Earl Haley in The Watchmen? That whole interrogation scene. What was that experience like?
It was great. I mean, he and I work in a similar way, and we found a happy middle ground. And I'm much taller than he is, but he had to beat me up. So they adjusted with the camera angles and so on. And he's a wonderful actor. We had a really good time. I like him a lot, and he did a great job with that character. It's the best character, I think.
Definitely.
It was fun to work on. Yeah.
Nice. Well, is there anything you're working on right now that you want to let everybody know about?
After this, I'm going to work on a prequel to Psycho.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is going to be a series for Amy.
That's awesome. That sounds great.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
thanks
a lot, man.
Nice to meet you, Charlie.
All right.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.